Larry Farmer, we're just moments away from the tip-off here in the Thomas & Mack Center tonight. It is Michigan. The Wolverines coming in with a record of 9-2. Their starting lineup, Maceo Bassett's a strong man inside. A lot of sophomores and freshmen in there. And then UNLV counters with juniors and seniors. Clayton Johnson's their main man. He averages almost 22 points a game. UNLV's record, 1-5 coming in. They have lost 5 in a row. Michigan has won 7 straight. We're getting ready to get started here. Nice to have you as Michigan and UNLV meet for the second time in their series history. And the Wolverines control the tip. That's Travis Conlon. Both teams are banged up. We'll let you know about the injury situation, but both come in a little short-handed. And Maurice Taylor cleaning up the glass early.
One of the areas that UNLV will have to pay particular attention to is when a shot does go up, they must finish off their defense and box out and not let a bigger Michigan team get second shots at the basket.
Warren Rosegreen loses the handle. Conlon quickly down court. And the Wolverines on the second chance on their second try lead 4-0. With the basketball is Kevin James. He is a walk-on, played 2 years of junior college basketball, but played so well against UCLA and the Runner-Revs' most recent loss, 6 assists, no turnovers, that he gets the start tonight. But another turnover for the Rebels. Bullock for 3, and Baston comes over the back. It'll go back to UNLV.
That's one area that I believe UNLV can take advantage of Michigan. UNLV much smaller and quicker.
Head coach Steve Fisher, his 7th complete season at Michigan. Outstanding record there, almost 71%. And who can forget his initiation into the college coaching ranks as a head coach back in the '89 tournament? Took over when Bill Frieder was let go, in essence, by Bo Schembechler after taking the Arizona State job, and off they went. The Wolverines did win 6 consecutive games and beat Seton Hall for the championship.
Well, if you're going to take over a team late in the season, it might as well be a team as talented as that one was.
He's had some good ones since. Of course, the Fab Five. That's Bill Baino, first-year head coach of UNLV, a longtime assistant to John Calipari at UMass. Jermaine Smith going baseline, puts up the air ball, and Michigan rebounds the ball well, Larry. They really hit the glass on both ends of the court.
And that's one area when you talk about Michigan being a very good offensive rebounding team. They average 15 per game. If UNLV can finish off their defense and get in transition and utilize their quickness, they're quicker than Michigan is in 4 positions. They might be able to pick up some cheap baskets in the fast break.
Maurice Taylor is off, but Jermaine Smith pulls down the rebound in transition. Quickly, and the foul, and right off the dunk, it came after Taylor had gotten a pretty good piece of Jermaine Smith. He'll go to the line.
This is coming right at you. Jermaine Sunshine Smith has an angle to the basket, and right there he elects to get as close to the rim as he can. He anticipates the foul, but goes strong, keeps his focus, and he'll shoot 2.
Early substitution, Tony Lane coming in. Eddie Corbett sitting down. Corbett getting a rare start tonight. UNLV would like to have gone with Damian Smith tonight. He's a good little shooter, one of the few seniors they have who's been able to stick around and contribute on a consistent basis, but he's got a knee problem, so he's sitting down. And then Gerard Ward is out for Michigan. He won't play tonight.
You start describing the injuries, it's like both benches they have a mash unit over there.
Willie Mitchell also down for Michigan. He's got some problems that arthroscopic surgery took care of, and he'll be back, they think, by the 1st of January. Whistle away from the play. And a foul very quickly on Tony Lane. So he gets into the game and now into the box score.
You know, Michigan will approach this game much like a heavyweight fighter, and they're a puncher. They're going to try and bang that ball on the inside and really take advantage of where they get their high percentage work done.
That's a lineup of 4 sophomores and 1 freshman for Michigan. Albert White, the lone freshman, knocks the ball away. White gets it back and says, "How do you do?" Albert White with 4.
Can he get up? You have that happen to you defensively when you anticipate a steal. UNLV did. They had 3 or 4 players leaning toward half court, and when that ball went back to Michigan, Albert White did the rest.
Inside, Lane in traffic. Maurice Taylor, the Big Ten Freshman of the Year, hits 2 on the turnaround.
And that's where Taylor's that's going to be such a factor in this game.
Bullock gets a little too close in the backcourt, picks up the foul.
That's that backcourt pressure of Michigan. You know, oftentimes when you anticipate a steal and you start to move toward offense, as UNLV did, you really expose your basket. There you see the athletic ability of Albert White. He's really quick. He's got big hands, and he's very explosive.
Clayton Johnson, the leading scorer for the Running Rebs. Passing off in the corner. Rosegreen on the move. Warren Rosegreen working on 4 double-doubles. 4 consecutive double-doubles, and he's off to a good start tonight. Junior college player from Chaffey Junior College in Ontario, California. Duke Fife also checked into the game for the first time. He has the ball, the captain of this team. Bullock to Taylor. Rejected by Lane. Sunshine Smith. And Johnson runs it down.
You don't get very many opportunities like that if you're UNLV. You can finish off your defense with a steal or a defensive rebound. You've got to get in those lanes in fast break and try and get that cheap basket.
Lane kicked it back out. Shot clock sneaking toward 10. It gets there. Smith gets his feet set. Can't hit. Johnson crashes the boards, but Taylor loses the ball. A steal by Johnson. And it's all tied at 8.
You see Taylor on the inside. He goes up strong. Tony Lane doing a terrific job of drawing a bead on the basketball, keeping daylight between him and the offensive player and not drawing that foul.
And you saw Clayton Johnson immediately turn defense to offense, transition baskets. The Running Rebs are going to need to get a bunch of those tonight. Albert White, that's outside of his range. Bullock inside, and there's a foul on the Wolverines. Robert Tractor Trailer into the game for the first time tonight. Big freshman, when I say big, 6'8", 300. That's big. We're all tied at 8 early on in Vegas.
There's nothing like a good bacon cheeseburger. But no matter how much you dress it up, dress it down, or disguise it, it's still a bacon cheeseburger. Unless it's a bacon cheeseburger burrito from Taco Bell. Introducing 3 classic bacon tastes loaded with bacon. The bacon cheeseburger burrito, the BLT soft taco, and the chicken club burrito. The Taco Bell sizzling bacon menu starting at 99 cents. One thing people can't disguise is how much they love them.
The people at Dodge don't want to be the only ones having all the fun. So here are 3 ways for you to play, too. Take your choice of up to $3,000 off. Or select 1.9% financing. Or lease rates as low as $199 a month. So come to the Dodge year-end event, now playing at the friendly Dodge dealer near you.
15 years of experience, ESPN gives you access to 120 million homes on 6 continents in 10 languages. With ESPN Latin America, Asia, Eurosport, and Japan Sports Channel. One phone call to the ESPN International Advertising Sales Department delivers global reach to convey one message. Yours.
Crazy Eights. That's the magic number right now. Michigan, UNLV all tied up at 8 early on. About 4.5 minutes gone in this. We'd like to tell you about some hoops coming up Friday night here on the Deuce, 10 o'clock Eastern time. The Rainbow Classic semifinals from out in Hawaii. Southern Cal and the winner of the UMass NC State game meet in one of the semis, and then in the other, it's John Wallace and the Orange Men of Syracuse taking on Rhode Island and Larry Farmer. Intensity. If UNLV can maintain this throughout, we're going to have ourselves one whale of a ball game because they've come out of the blocks in a hurry.
You see Clayton Johnson right there, number 24. He's not to be denied. Does a very good job of sneaking up behind the rebounder, retrieving the basketball, and then right there, Clayton's got one thing in mind, to get to that basket as quickly as he can and finish that play off with a dunk.
Our officials tonight, Steve Gordon, Ted Hillary, and Rick Hartzell, and Clayton Johnson doing the job on both ends for the Rebs. Full court pressure, though. And Jermaine Smith comes back quickly up court to Lane. And a foul on Albert White.
Tony Lane doing a very good job of attacking the basket. Once UNLV solves the mystery of this press, Tony Lane goes up strong, and you talk about plays being made above the rim. When you can attack the basket like that in your offense and beating a press, only good things can happen from you. You're either going to get easy shots or you're going to get shots and fouls.
Tony Lane, a decent free throw shooter, but a great athlete. The only thing that the coaches would like to see more of from him is that intensity, that fire, that desire. Goes strong to the hoop, which he did, and picked up 2 points because of it.
You want to be aggressive in attacking a zone press defense, draw the trap, pull the ball back, change sides with it, and then look to score to get the team that's pressing you out of that press.
Dugan Fife, the only senior on scholarship with the basketball. His dad, Dan, also a captain, as is Dugan. The only father and son captain combination in Michigan history. 1971 for Dan, and now 1995-96 for Dugan.
Clock down to 5 seconds. Good defense.
Maceo Baston gets the roll.
UNLV can keep that kind of defensive intensity up on the perimeter and then do a better job of denying those flashes to the inside. Their defense can really create havoc for the much slower Michigan team.
Lewis Bullock almost came up with a steal. Backdoor, Jermaine Smith. And give the assist to Kevin James. Rebels by 2.
Rebels in a 2-3 zone defense. This defense was very effective in a very tough loss to UCLA.
Rose Green with the rebound. He's had a few of those in his day. He averaged 16 boards a game in junior college ball last year. Averaging 11 this year. Johnson. Rebels by 4.
Michigan doing a very good job of cutting off that baseline drive, but Johnson, alert, pushed the ball as close to the basket as he could and then stopped on a dime.
Lewis Bullock for 3, and that is his specialty. He hit 59% of his three-pointers last year as a high school senior. James dished it down, and Rose Green couldn't handle it. Kevin James getting his first start in the UNLV uniform to walk on, now walking off, jogging off the court. 4 substitutions. Travis Conlon back in. Maurice Taylor back in for Michigan. We see Chancellor Davis at the point for UNLV for the first time tonight, and also checking in for them, Grant Rice. And Eddie Corbett back in for Wilt Bano and his running Reds, who lead by 1.
And UNLV switching their defenses. The last possession down, they were in a 2-3 zone, and now they've switched back to a man-to-man.
Bullock again, wide open. Oh, and Taylor, after missing the tip, slams it home.
Michigan will make a home on that offensive board if UNLV cannot box them out and turn some of that action where Michigan is sending 3 and 4 players to the offensive board into transition baskets at the other end.
Rice, they like his shooting off the bench, but he misses his first try. Taylor over Davis. Had the double clutch, and Chancellor Davis, well, gets the moral victory and the basketball. Junior college player out of Dixie Community College in Utah steps on Rose Green. Maceo Baston back into the ball game for the Wolverines. Pace of the game surprise you at all? I mean, anything as far as the defense maybe on this end? We see UNLV changing up a little bit. They open with man. They go to the zone.
Well, UNLV has got to do something to keep the ball out of the inside, and when they're in the zone, they're going to be vulnerable to the offensive rebound, which is going to give them problems all night. But UNLV needs an up-tempo game again to get in transition and utilize their quickness.
They scored 82 in their last outing in a loss to UCLA as Rice pulls down the rebound. That was their season high. They're only averaging 68 points a game.
Jermaine Smith very fortunate at that time to keep that pivot foot planted. He was just a hair from traveling on that play. Michigan really hasn't gotten in a rhythm yet, John, where they're coming down each possession and they're looking for something different. They've got to come down and look to pound it inside first, and then if that's covered, then kick it back outside for the three.
Oh, Taylor rejects Davis's shot, but also picks up the foul. Something, too, Michigan hasn't played a game since December 20th and really hasn't practiced much since then. You see Davis on the baseline here. UNLV at least has had an outing or two, Larry, and that could come into play here.
Well, you know, because of the holidays, Coach Fisher decided that he would give his players, they played on the 20th, he would give them 5 or 6 days off. And his biggest concern yesterday was the kids coming back in and playing hard. And he was curious as to what kind of legs they would have after such a long layoff.
Chancellor Davis. Shooting 2. And now Wes Reed gets his first playing time. So Bill Bano going to his bench. Knows he's going to need it tonight. Now they're tied at 15. So Davis breaks the deadlock early. It's the run in Reb's way. They lead by 1, 11:46 left to play in the half.
Oh, I could use as much as you want to give me.
Could you use a little extra cash these days?
How's that?
I could use a lot of extra cash.
I like cash.
Who wouldn't?
What do I have to do?
It's easy. Just get Sprint Cents. Now, on top of 10 cents a minute, you'll get cash back every year you're with Sprint.
Thank you very much. It pays to stay.
A dime a minute and cash back.
I like it. Do you really like it?
I love it.
Of course, if you don't need the money, you can always stay with the other guys.
Call for 10 cents a minute evenings and weekends. Now with cash back.
Forget about these antiperspirants forever. Because now there's one that keeps you drier. Sure Ultra Dry. It's a better kind of antiperspirant. A soft solid. Just 2 clicks, and it goes on dry to keep you ultra dry. Look, ordinary solids can flake off, but Sure Ultra Dry vanishes in to form an invisible layer of protection that keeps you drier than ever before. See for yourself. Sure Ultra Dry. Goes on dry, keeps you ultra dry.
Bud and Doyle are trapped in the Biodome.
Please let me out, Mommy.
Just because we're stuck in a bubble doesn't mean we can't cause any trouble.
On January 12th, what do you boys want?
To die and come back as a leotard?
Pauly Shore and Stephen Baldwin are putting the mental back in environmental.
They're the rarest Lepidoptera in the world.
Biodome, rated PG-13. Starts Friday, January 12th.
There have been some pretty special moments inside the Thomas & Mack. Many of those provided by Stacey Augmon and company back in the years of the late 80s, the early 90s. How about Larry Johnson, LJ filling the lanes on the break as well? All-Americans, Augmon and Johnson. And a special moment it was indeed here in the Thomas & Mack about 2 weeks ago. The jerseys retired in the game before Charleston Southern, the unveiling of Augmon's 32, Larry Johnson's number 4. And I tell you what, they were just outstanding players and very emotional moment for these former teammates and #1 picks in the NBA draft as well. Larry Johnson going to Charlotte, of course, and Stacey Augmon to the Atlanta Hawks. And they joined some pretty exclusive company here in Nevada, Las Vegas history. Sidney Green, the other men's basketball player, has had his jersey retired. And women's hoops, Misty Thomas, Pauline Jordan. How about Matt Williams and Randall Cunningham? Also UNLV honorees. And you see Johnson, Augmon, and Jerry Tarkanian as well has a jersey in his honor. Tark, the longtime coach here now at Fresno State.
Augmon noted for his defensive abilities, scored over 2,000 points while he was at UNLV, and Larry Johnson over his 2-year career, he averaged over 22 a game.
Just think of that, about 2 years he had here. He was a junior college transfer, but if he played 4, the record book would have been shattered. A trailer inside, using a 300-pound frame of his, and Dugan Fife gets called for the Roos. His first, the team's 6th. Interesting note, too, Michigan, who has only committed more fouls than its opponent in 1 game this year, has already committed one. Now the 7th is put up on the board. So to the 1-1 goes UNLV. But UNLV is 6 of 6 from the line, Larry, and Michigan's yet to go to the charity stripe.
And on the season, UNLV is shooting 64%. And that last foul was really not a smart foul. to go after the ball like that with Corbett having rebounded the ball and firmly protected it. That's when you've got to get back on defense, pick up at half court, and then start your defensive pressure. You're not going to take it from a big, strong man like that who's protecting the ball.
Whistle away down low as Maurice Taylor and Warren Rosegreen hook up inside. Rosegreen gets whistled for the foul. That'll be his first.
Rosegreen's giving up about 40 pounds on the inside and about 5 inches, so he's got to really play smart defensively. He goes out and takes a rest. Who's ever assigned to Taylor on the inside has really got to play smart. Bang and get in front, get behind, and then hope for outside defensive help.
Taylor inside, off the glass, and it counts.
Robert Traylor, as a freshman, the coaching staff said he was guilty of too often trying to do too many things on the inside. He might have gotten away there with shuffling his feet, but he's a very explosive, very powerful man on the inside. He does such a good job of carving off a space on the inside where he can get that ball and score, get to the offensive rebound and take it up strong.
Got a soft touch, too, for a big man there. Not hitting a high percentage of free throws at all, 50%. But how about 54 from the field as Clayton Johnson steps back in? In fact, Traylor and Maurice Taylor and Maceo Baston are all at 54% or better for this Michigan team from the field. Conlon, the steal, and stepped on the line.
Conlon doing a very good job defensively of keeping his hands active. Might have been guilty of hurrying instead of just being quick. Lost his court vision and his awareness stepping on that line.
Fife gets called for the push as Davis was in trouble here, and Michigan creating some pressure with that half-court trap.
And that's 5-second foul in a series where he's playing hard, but he's just really not thinking on that play. You've got a good trap. You've got the third defender in that half-court. There's really not a whole lot that Davis is going to be able to do with that basketball. You just hold your ground, maintain good spacing, and play the passing lanes.
Chance Davis, the best free throw shooter for UNLV, 78% on the year.
If you look at his size at 5'8", he might not be that, but if the coaching staff has likened him to a Muggsy Bogues type player where he's, you know, that quick little water bug type player who's constantly looking to get the ball into the painted area, draw the defense, and then kick it out or kick it inside for easy shots.
He's part of the walking wounded here. At least he can play. Had an ankle injury earlier and had a calf injury, and he's just now getting up to speed as Johnson picks up the offensive rebound.
Well, Clayton Johnson, the leading scorer on this basketball team, his responsibility is to go much further than that. When he's playing that small forward position, a lot of responsibility falls on Johnson to rebound the basketball, and also he's got to be another distributor.
Loose ball, White gets it back, but dump inside the Trailer, and a foul on the floor. Or that be 4 on the floor for Tractor Trailer. Bill Bano knows he has his work cut out for him here. First season at UNLV. As I said, a longtime assistant at the University of Massachusetts program. Before that at Charleston Southern School in Charleston, South Carolina, formerly Baptist College. He scheduled Charleston Southern. They came in here and then beat him. It wasn't much fun to have his old buddies beat up on him there, but they ruined the big night for Augmon and Johnson. But he understands the patience that he has to exhibit here as Bassett gets called over the top. And that is hard for a coach. I mean, when he comes in and he knows that the cupboard is somewhat empty, he has some talent on hand, but there's going to be a lot of turnover, Larry, over the next year or so, and you have to be willing to understand that.
You have to be willing to understand that, and the majority of the pressure that Coach Bino will feel this year, he'll place on himself. It's not going to be everything that people say or expect, but it's what he wants. And, you know, there's a fine line between having a good recruiting year and talking about the players that you're going to be bringing in and what the future holds, and losing sight of exactly what you've got this year. So you've got to maintain your focus on what you've got to do this year and then build for the future.
Johnson goes to the line, and Conlon came into the lane too soon. Looked like the old Globetrotter trick there, but Johnson knocked down the free throw anyway. Kevin James, a step back in. He's been a surprise with this team. They weren't expecting a whole lot from him, frankly. He played at Kilgore Junior College along with Tony Lane. They were teammates down there. They brought up Lane on a scholarship, and James decided to follow him as a walk-on, and he has been a pleasant surprise. Albert White down court to basket. He might have the longest arms in America. They say that Maceo at 6'9" has the wingspan of a person of equivalent height of 7 feet 3 inches tall. That his arms are just longer than they should be for his body.
That's a real good double team on that low post by Michigan.
Clayton Johnson for three.
Clayton Johnson had a career-high 26 points against UCLA in that loss. Played very well in the second half.
Baston has it stripped by Lane.
If you're going to get caught behind and that close to the basket, Lane does a very good job of knocking that ball away without getting assessed a personal foul by the official.
UNLV's record of 1-5 is a little deceiving, I think, Larry, in that they haven't been blown out by anybody. Losing by 10 to Southern Cal, their worst defeat as Taylor's shot goes off. And then they play UCLA here to a 7-point game after being down by more than 20. Made a great comeback and just fell a little short at the end. Kind of like that shot.
And that might have been a telling point for their season because they played so well in the second half. And sometimes even in a loss, you can build your confidence. I'm sure they went back and watched how hard they played in the second half. And for about a 6-minute period, really out-hustled and played a lot harder than the UCLA team.
And if Bill Bano can take consolation in the comparative score game, the fact that Southern Cal plays a very good Missouri team with Kelly Thames and Norm Stewart heading up that bunch. Beats them over in Hawaii earlier tonight. Beats them by 11. Well, they beat UNLV here by 10. So, you know, there is some thought that if you can focus in on the effort, that maybe it's not as bad as it seems. They are 1-5. It's their worst losing streak since 1978. And if they lose here tonight, it will match the longest losing streak in school history. That dates back to 1958. But there is some talent there, and he feels pretty good about the recruiting class he's bringing in. How about the class with Albert White joining, one of 3 freshmen on this Michigan team. Lewis Bullock coming in with White. Another super outstanding recruiting class. Robert Traylor, the player who really drew most of the attention because he's such a big man in there.
And there's a lot more to Robert Traylor than that 300-pound size would indicate. He's a heck of a basketball player.
So the rotating door continues. Michigan had 9 players with 19 minutes or more a game averaging coming into this game tonight. We won't see a couple on because of the injuries, I suppose, without Ward and Mitchell. And it goes for Jermaine Smith.
And that's where strength comes in. You watch Jermaine Smith right here. He's going to use the lower part of his body, absorbs the contact from Fife, is able to concentrate and focus on the front of that rim and get off a pretty decent shot. You can't make a play like that on the move and draw that kind of contact with just an all-arm shot. That lower body strength is what allows you to stay in the air and adjust that shot and still have a chance to finish.
And Ron Oliver will come in, and Dugan Fife and his 3 fouls will take a seat. Oliver had an opportunity to play at a number of Division I schools via scholarship, Miami, South Alabama, to name a couple. But he decided to walk on at Michigan instead, and here he is playing in December.
Michigan playing with 3 guards now against that zone defense that UNLV's gone back to.
And Johnson, checked by Conlon, loses the ball out of bounds. Good defensive play there by Travis Conlon. He saw them in transition and got over and had good position.
You know, you're caught between a rock and a hard place. If you can anticipate when that ball is coming and catch the offensive receiver with his head turned, you can sneak up and either draw that the charge, or when he catches and looks, all of a sudden he sees a defender there, you'll get him to travel. But if you don't make that play, he's going to be landed in or dunking the basketball.
Trailer inside. Loses the handle. Shot clock to 6. Big rebound by Bastet inside, and he may have stepped on the baseline. No? A foul on Bastet.
Steve Fisher is going through the ceiling. He cannot believe it.
So Bastet gets called for the hook, and it's the Rebs by 2. 7:52 remaining, 24-22 UNLV.
The people at Dodge don't want to be the only ones having all the fun. So here are 3 ways for you to play, too. Take your choice of up to $3,000 off. Or select 1.9% financing. Or lease rates as low as $199 a month. So come to the Dodge year-end event, now playing at the friendly Dodge dealer near you.
There's nothing like a good bacon cheeseburger. But no matter how much you dress it up, dress it down, or disguise it, it's still a bacon cheeseburger. Unless it's a bacon cheeseburger burrito from Taco Bell. Introducing 3 classic bacon tastes, loaded with bacon. The bacon cheeseburger burrito, the BLT soft taco, and the chicken club burrito. The Taco Bell sizzling bacon menu starting at 99 cents. One thing people can't disguise is how much they love them.
Working out with Body Shaping on ESPN for a long time. But starting January 2nd, Body Shaping is moving to ESPN2. We hope you'll join us there for a whole new fitness lineup. We've got 6 consecutive hours of fitness programs every weekday starting at 7 a.m., including Body Shaping, the most popular fitness show on TV. Body Shaping starts Tuesday, January 2nd, only on ESPN2. If you don't have ESPN2, call your local cable operator.
The running Rebs hanging tough right now. They lead Michigan 24-22, 7:52 remaining. Lots of hoops coming up this weekend, though, on the Deuce. On into next week, Tuesday, 7 o'clock, Notre Dame and Villanova. Big East, how about that matchup there? The Fighting Irish in their first year in the league make it go around against Kerry Kittles and company. Here's the foul, Larry, and check out the elbow.
Well, Bastian gets that rebound, and as you can see, he clearly uses the right arm to improve his position to get around Jermaine Sunshine Smith. Pretty easy call, and as I mentioned, Steve Fisher went right through the ceiling on that call.
So much so that he received a technical foul, and that was Steve in a little more passive moment. He earned that technical, there's no doubt about it. So UNLV will go to the line, they get the shoot, and they get the ball back, and they lead by a couple. Running Rebs shooting the ball a lot better than they usually do. That's about almost 10% better over the season, and Michigan having some problems early finding range.
And I still get the sense that Michigan really hasn't gotten in a groove. Part of that could be due to the fact that UNLV is playing very hard and they've been switching their defenses back and forth.
Clayton Johnson shooting the first of 2 technical free throws. He has 9 of UNLV's 25 points.
You know, strategically, there are a lot of times when a coach feels he really needs to get a tee and fire his team up to show that, you know, the coach is in support. And if you're going to get a tee, you definitely want to get one early in the ball game, and you want to get a tee when your team doesn't have the ball. And Steve Fisher is guilty of both of those.
It's kind of an experimental stage 2 for his team at this point of the season. So many young players out there. We take them all out on the road, and the chemistry, as you know. Tony Lane with the slam on the baseline. You know about chemistry and taking teams on the road, and things happen when you're away from home, don't they?
Well, everything is different. You get the hostile crowds, you get the different backgrounds, you got to play through some tough periods where nothing is going right for you. Maintain your poise. It forces a young team to grow up quickly.
It's all going for UNLV right now. Johnson took a few too many steps. Their lead of 5 is their largest of the game. kind of indicative of the Jekyll and Hyde possibilities here for a team that goes on a road. Maceo Baston, who has been sensational at home for Michigan, averaging about 17 points and 8 rebounds a game. He goes on the road, and his numbers about cut in half in each category. So things do go wrong out there.
And you'll see that happen with young players, especially a young team like this.
Great defense inside, and the Rebels get the ball back. And then return the favor. Conlon wants to push it up court, has Albert White, who has 2.
In transition. Now that pass that was attempted by Michigan before, they will get that, especially against the zone defense, but they've got to move the ball around and play with a little bit more patience, so the defense now is not in as good a position because they've been reacting to the ball movement to defend that high-low pass.
20-second timeout for UNLV. They do have a 3-point lead. There are only 20 they can take here in the half. Got some hockey coming up here on the Deuce. World Junior Hockey Championships. Talk about live hockey. We got it for you. Competitive hockey at its best as the future stars of the game compete in the World Championships. It's the United States against Switzerland Friday at 7 o'clock Eastern time. That's the World Junior Hockey Championships. And if you don't have ESPN2, Larry, you know what you ought to do? You ought to contact your local cable operator or a satellite program distributor and say, I'm Larry Farmer. I want the Deuce at my house, so take care of it for me.
Hey, do those young hockey guys, those junior guys, do they fight like the older professional guys do?
I think they're learning to. It's a maturation process. They still have all their teeth. Give them time, though. Alley-oop. And Rose Green couldn't finish. Boy, they drew that one up during the timeout and had it perfectly executed with the exception of the finish.
That's a great move on the inside by Traylor.
And it's deceiving. Again, you're talking about a 300-pound young man, and he can move pretty well inside. Sunshine Smith off the glass.
And that's been a big improvement in Jermaine Sunshine Smith in his offensive game. He's become a lot more deliberate about his shot selection. He's getting closer to the basket, and consequently, he's finishing.
Taylor inside. He'll go to the line to shoot, too. Tony Lane in there, creating some traffic for Taylor. Picks up the foul. Eddie Corbett started the ball game back in. Again, they've had to do some adjusting. They lost a player early. As far as this game goes, it was actually, we talked about Damian Smith and the chances they were hoping to have for him tonight. He's not around. Eric Lee, young man who had some back surgery about a week ago and lost him for the season, which is unfortunate because he brought some size to that lineup, 6'10", and that's forced some rearranging with the Bill Bainey.
Eric Lee, a very good shot blocker. And that's what you need when you play against teams with Michigan size, is when that offense starts to get in that painted area, you got somebody that can change or block shots for you.
Kevin James with the air ball, but Grant Rice is there to pull down the rebound. Caught a little bit of rim there, so the shot clock goes back to 35. That one missed everything.
And you can attribute that to Maurice Taylor.
Great no-look inside. Conlon to Taylor, who couldn't finish. Traylor, and now Taylor.
Tell you, if Michigan will settle down, run some clock, and get good, wide-open looks at the basket, they are very good when that shot doesn't come up as a surprise of getting to that offensive board.
Rose Green's been quiet and still struggles. Rice over the back of Albert White. It's his first foul. Warren Rose Green, though, yet to really get going in this game. He averages 15 points a game, and as we talked about briefly, they're coming in on 4 consecutive double-doubles, and here he is with 2 points at the 4:53 mark.
Well, Rose Green's got to get the ball closer to the basket. He's gotten it about 15, 14 feet away, and he's attempted to put the ball on the floor. That time, he used a screen, and Tractor Traylor did a very good job of cutting off any sort of driving lane and forcing him to take a shot that I really don't think Rose Green is comfortable with.
Michigan now in the bonus, which I hear the opponent is not such a bad thing. They have a little more than half their free throws on the year. Might be pretty good on that one.
Wouldn't you know it?
That's a kiss of death. So Michigan retakes the lead. It's now a pair. And Wes Reed will come back in for the Rebels. 5's been the biggest lead we've had so far. UNLV got up by 5, and Michigan in for a lot more than they probably bargained for. They came into this game ranked 19th in the country, 9-2 on a 7-game winning streak. Their only losses were in the preseason NIT. They lost in the semifinals to Arizona, and then really had a blowout loss to Georgia Tech. They're up by 6 at the half and wound up losing by 15.
And Michigan showing a zone for the first time this year. They're showing a 1-3-1 zone. So it's interesting in the practice yesterday. I heard Coach Bino was talking to his players, and he mentioned that they had not played a zone, and if they saw the zone, he would get them in a timeout and get them organized.
And the thinking here for Steve Fisher is, let's see if you can beat us from the outside a little bit.
And then, of course, you've got Maurice Taylor, who's got 2 fouls. You want to do a little protection in there.
Rosegren with a wild shot, and inside, Clayton Johnson having some words for his teammate there. And we heard that, too, today, as far as the instructions from the coaching staff went to the Rebs in the final moment of practice was, if things start to go a little bit against us, keep your head, keep your cool, because if you lose that composure, we're going to lose the ball game.
And our strength in this ball game is going to be playing together. That's what Coach Bino is really trying to stress. And when you get in ball games, particularly the way UNLV started off this one, and you know you're going to hit that bump in the road where all of a sudden all those shots aren't going in, you're not getting all the loose balls. Stay together. Don't start pointing fingers. Don't start giving up hope, but just stay together and keep working hard. Work your way through it.
So Albert White has hit 3 free throws in a row now. Have a chance for another and build on that Michigan lead. 4:28 left. They're up by 3. Now 4.
You know, he's shooting 59% on the year, and you watch those last 4 free throws. He's got good rotation on the ball. For a young player, it's just concentration. You see that a lot these days with so much attention being paid to playing above the rim and slam dunking and slashing to the basket.
Clayton Johnson inside, in and out, and White pulls down the rebound. He's having a great first half, Albert White. Taylor has position and walks. Clayton Johnson came over to get some pretty good weak side help there and forced the turnover.
But Maurice Taylor guilty of walking on that, but he was very nimble. If you watch him here, he's going to catch the ball, look right shoulder, and turn. If he gets that ball down a little bit quicker, that's a heck of a move to anticipate the defense and go from one shoulder to the other and still have an opportunity to score. That's big-time play. 1-1 zone defense. You're weak in the corners.
Jermaine Smith worked an awful lot after practice this afternoon on coming off of picks and shooting the outside shot. That time didn't need the help. He was wide open. Oh, Taylor, big time move inside there.
What I like about the Michigan players, and that's something that Coach Fisher stresses every day in practice, when that ball goes inside, there are no nonsense. They either catch and shoot or catch it, take your power dribble to get yourself in balance and in a power position, and they take it up strong. It doesn't hurt to have a nice touch either.
Well, he does, too. Big-time player, Big Ten Conference Freshman of the Year, and Johnson has it stripped away and back on the Wolverines. Bullock. No basket. A charge on Lewis Bullock. Up and down we go. And we'll take a break. 2:49 remaining here in the first half. It's a 3-point Michigan lead over the Running Reds.
CBGB's is a proud member of the JBO sound system. JBO, we keep America moshing.
Ah, the fresh autumn air. Where are those darn flashlights?
Ow! Dependable Duracell batteries. Nothing lasts longer.
Hey, where's mine?
The Copper Top. No battery is stronger, longer.
We were called an experiment.
what someone figured out is that there's something more important than machines if you want to make a good car. It's about people and giving them ownership in the product they're building. And if you have 8,000 people making the right decisions individually with the company and the car in mind, then you have 8,000 people that own that car and every car that goes out. That's the way I feel.
No one can save you now.
Hey, bet we could.
Fools, we will defeat you and take your Miller Lite. Not if we choose the weapon. Paper football, very clever. You kick off.
It's good. We are saved.
When you've got the great taste of an ice-cold Miller Lite, life is good. You are worthy opponents. Let us celebrate. I know a good sports bar around the corner. Life is good.
So it's the Wolverines leading by 3. John Wall's here with Larry Farmer. And we talked so much about the young talent that Steve Fisher has brought in. And take a look at this, Larry, and you tell me what you think about top recruiting classes. Now, I know there's no UCLA Bruins there. I'll get that out there right now, but those are some pretty strong numbers. You see Michigan, though, number 2, and then maybe number 4, the class of 98 there, were Taylor, Baston, Conlon, Mitchell, and Ward, who we're not seeing tonight.
Well, unfortunately, or fortunately, however you want to look at it, I had the opportunity to be an assistant coach against that 1976 Indiana team. They beat UCLA twice that year. They beat us early on in the season, and then they beat us in the semifinals of the Final Four. But that was an awfully good team. All 5 of those kids went on to play in the NBA. Who knows about this year's class?
Yeah, with Michigan bringing in Robert Traylor and company. Lewis Bullock came in, Albert White, all of them All-Americans, and Bullock was Mr. Basketball in the Washington, D.C. area. Just a great player. A lot of pressure on him to stay at home and go to Maryland, but he opted to go to Michigan. Sunshine Smith. They call him Sunshine. Got the name way back in elementary school days. This basketball instructor, I like the way he smiles. Said, son, you can light up a room with that sunshine smile of yours, and that name stuck ever since.
Well, that's going to make his coach light up a smile when he can penetrate the defense like that and stay under control.
He's got 8 of their last 12 points. So he's on a roll. As Clayton Johnson there had some help going down, and he's been knocked around a little bit here in this game. He just took a shot from Traylor on the other end. There was no call on, and I can see why he was complaining after the, I guess, forehand to the face. Of course, this a town, they used a lot of fights. I mean, Hollifield, Bow, I think that was in here, and so this facility is certainly no stranger to boxing, but Traylor caught him pretty good.
When you look at a man, Robert Traylor's size, he doesn't have those bony, hard elbows. And a lot of times when he fends you off or gives you a little shot, it doesn't hurt as much as one of those skinny guys.
So Johnson misses both free throws. Had a chance to give the Rebels the lead. Instead, they trail by 1 with a little more than 2 minutes to play.
UNLV back in that 2-3 zone, and you got to score each possession down, especially if you're able to draw that foul and you're in the bonus. You've got to come up with, you can't walk away from that basket with an empty possession. If you're on that free throw line, you got to at least get 1.
Taylor inside, puts up the air ball, and UNLV gets the ball back.
Well, that's a big break for UNLV because they played so hard for 18 minutes in this ball game. And this is a point in time where, as a coach, you don't want them to fall apart and allow Michigan to run off some points here late in the first half so they gain some momentum, and you come out and you're down to start that all-important second half.
And they give the ball right back. Offensive foul called against the Rebels, so now Michigan gets a chance to go to the line. Coming in for the half, we'll join Reese Davis in the studio with Sports Mash, and Georgetown having some problems tonight. The Hoyas struggling somewhat. We'll look at that. Alamo Bowl highlights. A&M and Michigan playing there, and Patrick Ewing going down tonight at Madison Square Garden for the Knicks. He had to be carted away, and we'll have all that for you here at the half with Reese Davis.
And all of a sudden, both teams not able to convert at that free throw line.
Look at Smith with the left hand.
Jermaine Smith just turning it up a notch, finding that ever so small crease in the defense, using his quickness and his athletic ability. Right there, you see him cross over. Michigan not doing a very good job of getting down the court, setting up their half-court defense. Jermaine Smith taking advantage of that slow transition.
He has 17 first-half points. And it's the Rebels by 2. And the Thomas and Mack crowd is into this one.
Albert White getting caught at the top of the key as the small forward with this particular alignment in chose to try and drive to the basket, which probably would not have been a good idea for Michigan, but really got bailed off, let off the hook. Jermaine Smith, in an effort to steal the ball, reaching around from behind, and that's a pretty much automatic call when you do that right in front of the official.
So White back to the free throw line now for the Wolverines. And he hits. He's had a good touch. He's had 4 free throws tonight, and Roberts a little less than a 60% free throw shooter for the year. Misses there, and here comes Clayton Johnson. 1-on-4, and now he has some help.
The zone is pretty effective for Michigan. They've just got to take away that baseline.
And an offensive foul on Roseberry.
You see, the defense is designed to give you that outside shot in the corner. A lot of teams will double team out of that, but I think Roseberry, who has really struggled from the field, really has not had the shot opportunities that he would have liked, I'm sure, with only 2 points, has really forced his last couple of possessions where he's gotten a look, and he's really tried to force scores.
Bullock for 3, his second of the game. He has 6.
UNLV's got to take their time now. Again, you don't want to create a situation where you give Michigan all the momentum going into halftime. Take your time. You played an excellent first half. There's only 5 seconds between the shot clock and the shot clock. The game clock and the shot clock.
Johnson takes it to the hole strong. He has 11 first half points, and it's all tied at 39. Lewis Bullock beats the buzzer. Wouldn't have counted had it gone, and Bill Bano's team, though, goes in down by 2. So Michigan finding himself in a little bit of a jam here tonight. The Runner-Reds are hanging tough. They trail 41-39. Here's the half of Thomas and Mack.
ESPN2's presentation of NCAA basketball is brought to you by Saturn. A different kind of company, a different kind of car.
When we first came here, we saw that there were 3 swings, 6 horses, 1 slide, and 1 set of monkey bars for 120 children. We looked around, we realized these kids that come here really need a heck of a lot more.
What do you suppose would happen if everyone decided to put just a weekend's worth of effort back into their community? Building, renovating, whatever. Things might just begin to change, which is why on one weekend in June, a group of Saturn retailers, owners, and team members got together and built 12 playgrounds in the New York area. And while in the grand scheme of things, that may not seem like much, it's a start.
For a while there, I felt like I was the only one who hadn't taken the high endurance challenge from Old Spice. It seemed like lots of guys were using it, so I gave it a shot, because this proves it deserves a shot. It evaporates less quickly, also lasts longer, protects better. Old Spice guarantees it. If you don't think it's the best, Call 1-800-PROVE-IT, and they'll buy you a stick of your old deodorant. Mine never guaranteed anything like that. I guess that's why it's my old deodorant. Hey, take the high endurance challenge, because now you got proof. Guaranteed.
UNLV hanging tough with Michigan. The Wolverines up by a deuce after the first half of play. Hello, welcome to the Halftime Smash. I'm Reese Davis. Elsewhere in college basketball, Georgetown takes a lot of flack for its Powder Puff Hour conference schedule. On the surface, Duquesne may look like another piece of cake, but students of Hoya history know better. G-Town only 2-10 all-time against the Dukes, the last win coming way back in the 1959-60 season. Of course, they haven't played in 33 years. But they ought to play if this one's any indication. Tom Pipkin spades, fires, fills, ties it at 82 late. 30 seconds left. Iverson gives it up. Jerry Nichols, no. But Boubacar, ow, hurts so good, puts the Hoyas up by 2. 5 seconds left. Duke's last chance. Mike James, rim shot. Georgetown hangs on. Squeaker for John Thompson's team, 88-86 the final. Othello Harrington led the Hoyas with 25. Mr. Pipkins had 30 for the Dukes. Duke singular beats Monmouth 69-53. Ricky Price a career high 27. Number 1 UMass taking on surprising NC State. The Wolfpack 6-0, and the Minutemen have now surged to a 3-point lead in that game, which is part of the Rainbow Classic in Hawaii. Temple and Memphis. Michael Wilson, the long outlet to Mingo Johnson. Mingo gives it up. Lorenzen Wright gets up, gets down. We're tied at 13. The Owls, wise owls hit the glass, and Mark Jackson is a wise owl. Gets the putback. The Tigers go upstairs. Michael Wilson, that 50-inch vertical leap. Memphis had a 3-point lead, and then it's Chad Allen finishing off and getting a little of that human touch. Memphis wins it 68-58 over Temple. Temple had earlier beaten Kansas when it was ranked number 1, Villanova when it was ranked number 2, but third-ranked Memphis avoids the Owls and their upset bug. North Carolina over UNC Asheville 66-49. Jeff McInnes led a balanced attack with 13 points. Intra-state rival Virginia Tech and Virginia, Ace Custis. He's the man for the Hokies. Working on the window and stuffing it back home. Tech up by 8, and who gets the lead? Rogers and a stare out there. Second half trying to come back. Curtis Staples nails the 3-ball. Tech right back. Custis, Ace buries it. He had 18. More Hokies. Sean Smith, the triple, and Virginia Tech goes on to win it 72-64. Custis also chipped in with 11 boards. Harold Dean and Curtis Staples held the 9 of 30 shooting from the floor, and Jeff Jones, the Virginia coach, said frustration set in on our offense after a while. Villanova no trouble with Hofstra. Kerry Kittles had 16 for the Wildcats. Arizona doubles up Texas A&M 88-44 in the Fiesta Classic. Michael Dickerson had 26 in that one. Cats now face Rutgers for the title in that tournament. And Iowa beats Colorado 100-85. 5 Hawkeyes in double figures, led by Russ Millard with 28 and Jess Settles, who had 20. College football, Alamo Bowl, Michigan, Texas A&M, Leland McElroy in uni, but nursing that sprained ankle, and Eric Bernard steps in, blasts in from 9 yards out. Aggies had a 7-0 lead. A&M doing it on the ground, Michigan doing it upstairs. Brian Greasy looking for Amani Toomer. Amani, a picture of slow motion, concentration. Got them both down, baby. Give him 6. 41 yards. We're tied at 7. Third quarter. A&M by 3. Corey Pollock has Chris Sanders. Chris Sanders, though, does not have the ball. A&M had to settle for a field goal in a 16-10 lead. Fourth quarter, Greasy was trying to drive the Wolverines, but he's picked off by Andre Williams. He takes it deep into Wolverine land. A&M adds a field goal, and they hang on to win it 22-20. Michigan added a late touchdown that was of little consequence. Brian Greasy had a couple of touchdown passes. Kyle Bryant, though, 5 field goals for the Aggies. Wolverines' first non-Rose Bowl postseason loss since the '84 Holiday Bowl, the game in which they lost to BYU. Bowl week continues on ESPN Friday, a triple header. The Heritage Bowl starts things off. Florida A&M taking on Southern. Then it's over to Shreveport for the Independence Bowl, LSU and Michigan State. We cap things off with a Holiday Bowl, Colorado State taking on the tough D of the Kansas State Wildcats. That one kicks off at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. We've still got a little more hoop to do for you. Michigan having a struggle with UNLV. 41-39 the score. We've got some more smash, including the NBA, coming up right after this break.
A friend of mine told me, try America Online. I said, why? I've got a computer. He said, try it. You'll see. It's easy. I called. They sent me a free America Online startup kit and gave me 10 free hours to look around. I'll admit I was nervous, but it's all point and click. I can do that. It's simple. Every time you sign on, welcome. It tells you if you've got mail. You've got mail. Want to send some email? Type the message, click here, and it's done. I like this. With one click, I can browse all kinds of great features on America Online. Surflink, Murder Mystery Online, Compton's Living Encyclopedia, whatever grabs my attention. I've gotten help with my golf swing, I've planned my next vacation, even bought flowers for my mother. Online. I love magazines, but I can't subscribe to them all. Or can I? America Online has over 100 newspapers and magazines. Everything from Business Week Online to Weekly World News, Atlantic Monthly to Cycle World. And I can browse them all. Keeping track of investments used to be tricky for me, but with America Online, it's a breeze. I pick a stock here, add it to my portfolio. I even get stock price updates every 15 minutes. Okay, I'll admit it. Sometimes my kids stump me with homework questions. But here's the answer. We use the teacher pager. It has teachers online to answer questions. Let me tell you, it comes in handy late Sunday nights. With America Online, you can point and click your way across the internet. And their web browser makes it easy to explore the World Wide Web. I'm always amazed by how many new features keep getting added. Just look. Of course, there's only one way to really experience it. Firsthand, on your own, up close and personal. Call the toll-free number and you'll receive your free startup kit and 10 free hours to look around. It's worth a try. You'll see.
To try America Online free, call 1-800-215-3900. You'll receive your free America Online startup kit and 10 free hours your first month. There's no obligation. Call now.
Welcome back, just in time for the NBA. The Cavs' Michael Cage has a good handle on the Knicks. Cage says, New York is Patrick Ewing, no matter how you look at it, end quote. Ewing coming off a 40-point performance against the Raptors, leading his Knicks against Cage and the Cavs. That's what's known as foreshadowing. Ewing, going up and landing on a foot, had to leave the game and get x-rays. Right ankle was twisted badly. More on him in just a sec. The Cavs take advantage of his absence. Bobby Phil's off the steal from Terrell Brandon, and Phil lays it home. Cavs win it easily, 86-76. The x-rays negative for Ewing. You will be reevaluated before the game against Washington on Friday. Phil had 28 points in the Cleveland win. Detroit beats Toronto 113-91. Allen Houston leads the way for the Pistons with 29. Grizzlies and Mavericks, this was a fantastic finish. 6 seconds left, tied at 89. Anthony Avent, no, Big Country can't follow. And there is a little time left, 0.9 seconds. The Mavericks will have one more try. George McLeod to Tony Dumas for the tip. Dumas is right there. Left it on the rim. Go to a little free basketball. In OT, 6 seconds left, tied at 94. Offense, no bucket. Wave it off, we'll go to double OT. In the second, under 10 to go. Kidd misses. Jim Jackson, no. Check the save by Kidd. Dumas missed it once. He would not miss it the second time. The Mavericks win it 103-101. It's Dick Motta's 900th career win. 7th time he tried to accomplish that feat. Houston over Jersey 97-82. The Dream with a triple-double, 22, 18 boards, and 10 assists. Indiana over Miami. Rick Smits had 21. Utah over Minnesota. The Mailman leads the way with 28. San Antonio and the Lakers are battling, and that one is now a final. Spurs win it 107-99. Another big game for the Admiral. Michigan and UNLV, they've got a second half to play. Wolverines struggling with the running Rebs. 41-39 the score. We're back after this.
Gentlemen, are you looking for some real entertainment? How about a nightclub with some lovely amenities? I'm talking about private couch dances or getting wet in our exclusive shower room. Hey, welcome to the hottest, totally new club in town. Welcome to Little Darlings. Hundreds of beautiful girls and 3 ugly ones.
The average person is exposed to hundreds of ads every day, almost all of which go unnoticed.
602 here in Kayland. Time for this message. If you crash your Doc Punjo's garage.
When people are ready to buy, they turn to the Sprint Yellow Pages.
Hello, Larry's?
The Sprint first sort.
The kids love the ice capades, so let's do them now. Whalers and Penguins at the Igloo. First period, Whale up 1-0. Jaromir Jagr feeds Ron Francis. Feed me. Ties it up at 1. Second period, we're locked up at 2. It's Mr. Jagr again. He won't bother to give it up. Takes it himself, number 32 on the season. Watch Mario Lemieux hit the post once, just keeps hanging around, and then pops it home. Number 31 for Lemieux as tries to catch Jagr. The Penguins exploded on Hartford. 9 for the final. Jagr a couple of goals. Sandstrom did likewise. Lemieux the goal you saw to go along with 4 assists. Rangers beat Vancouver 3-2. Wayne Presley's goal, the decisive one in that one. Tampa Bay over Montreal 3-1. The Habs now 0-6-1 in Tampa. Washington over Florida 5-4. Peter Bondra a goal and 2 assists. Caps got 3 goals in the third period. St. Louis over Dallas 4-1. Brett Hull a couple of goals, one of them an empty netter and 1 assist. Dallas has lost 6 straight on the road. And Chicago beats Winnipeg 4-3. That's the final in that one. NHL tonight comes your way after our game, 2 a.m. Eastern time. But speaking of our basketball game, got to get you back out for the second half soon.
There is a place pilots talk about, but few have ever been. It's a place where training, aircraft design, indeed a pilot's ability to stay cool, are put to the absolute test. Presenting The Challenge of Flight, an exclusive new series that takes you where no aviation videos have ever gone before. Start with Final Approach. Be there when it all goes wrong, when raw power, fear, and the ejection seat is all the pilot has left. In incredible detail and first-hand accounts, you'll see what happens low and slow over a pitching carrier deck. Gear up with nowhere to go, and in the bunker when you test how bad it can be. Be an eyewitness to history as you watch exclusive footage declassified and released here for the very first time. Order your copy of Final Approach and go where few pilots have ever been before.
Call now to order a special preview video of the entire Challenge of Flight series for only $5 and get these aviator sunglasses free. Call now.
Pool the Master's Way and learn from the best. 2 of America's favorite instructional videos are now available only through this special TV offer. Get tips from Steve Miserak, Pretty Boy Floyd, Iwo Mataya, and other pool greats. Now, for a limited time, you can order both videos for the price of one. Learn the secrets of breaks, banks, defense, position, angles, and trick shots like the Massey and the jump.
Take it from me, The Miz. When you purchase Pool the Master's Way and learn from the best, you'll learn everything you need to know how to shoot pool like a pro. With these 2 tapes, you can do almost anything except beat me.
World champion Steve Miserak takes you through the best ways to improve your game. Call the number on your screen and we'll send you this wonderful 2-video cassette collection for just $19.95 plus postage and handling.
2 for the price of 1? How can you go wrong?
These videos have never been offered together and are only being offered for a limited time. Call now. Have your credit card ready. An operator is waiting for your call. Sorry, no CODs. Call now.
Welcome back to the Thomas and Mack Center. Right now, UNLV trailing Michigan at the half, 41-39. I'm John Walls here with Larry Farmer. And Coach, I'm telling you, UNLV hanging tough, and it'd be nice, I think, if you're in Bill Bano's shoes to think, if Warren Rosegreen gets going here, a young man they expected a lot of tonight, they're going to be in pretty good shape.
Well, there will be, and Rosegreen didn't appear to be involved offensively. He was trying too hard, I thought, initially, to get the ball, and you'll watch on this replay where he's in a position he loves to play in that 3-second area. He's a warrior. He likes the combativeness that goes on the inside, and that's a play that he has caught all season long and made those close interior passes where he can go up and finish. Here you see Jermaine Sunshine Smith. Now, he's done a terrific job in this first half of getting to the front of the rim, either taking it all the way to the basket for lay-ins or jump stopping in that in-between area and scoring. And I thought this was a tremendous boost for Michigan. Lewis Bullock off the dribble. He'll penetrate the defense. Does a very good job of double clutching the basketball, staying focused, and knocking down that shot just before time expires.
First half numbers, UNLV shooting better than 50%. Rebounds, that's unusual for Michigan. They've only been out-rebounded twice this year in their 11 games, and in three-point field goal shooting. 2 out of 4 for the Rebels, and the Wolverines 2 for 7. Turnovers, though, the Rebels got to hang on to that ball. They've doubled up Michigan's output. So we begin the second half with a 2-point Michigan lead. We have Kevin James, Eddie Corbett, Warren Rosebean, rather. Corbett inside there. Smith and Johnson in the lineup for UNLV. Michigan comes back with their original starting 5: Conlon, Taylor, Bullock, White, and Maceo Baston.
He's going to have to play very, very smart, not lose any of his aggressiveness, especially on the defensive end as he scores in that nice fall-away jumper. But that was one of the rebounding problems that I thought Michigan had in that first half, was Baston sitting on the bench and not involved on the interior of that defense.
Well, he got busy in a hurry here in the second half. Johnson crashes the boards with Corbett, and Baston got shaken up on the rebound. Might have jammed a finger there as he picked up the loose ball. That's going to bring trainer Steve Stricker out, or at least they'd like to avoid, I guess, bringing him out. That would have to force them into a timeout situation. Another injury is something that Michigan can't afford to have.
You watch on the inside, let's see if Baston hits his arm on the rim. You add that to all the injuries. I tell you, it looks like a mass unit over there. You know, Mitchell with a sore right knee. They expect him to be back in mid-January, although he said he would be back about the beginning of January, but that remains to be seen. Certainly the coaches on both teams having to make a lot of adjustments.
So Baston scores back-to-back hoops here to start the second half, and the Wolverines score the first 4.
Baston gets the ball so close to the basket. Last year he set a Michigan record. He shot 67% from the floor, and in the Big Ten he shot 70%. And when you got his touch and you work without the ball like Baston does, you're going to catch the ball in high percentage scoring areas.
Kind of put that in perspective, Chris Webber and Lloyd Vaught, the only 2 Michigan players ever to shoot better than 60%, and he blew them away. That 67 was a school record, and he's at 73 this year. So he knows how to take his measured shot and has certainly converted here in the early going of the second half. There's a look at the sophomore from Dallas, Texas. Went to Spruce High School down there. Turnover number 13 for UNLV. Baston quickly up court, and he'll go to the line to shoot 2. So Maceo Baston, after a quiet first half, starting to come alive here in the second.
The experience of a sophomore, you sit out so many minutes in that first half, a player can become frustrated and really mentally remove himself from the ball game. But Maceo apparently has stayed focused, and he was chomping at the bit to get that second half started. He's really been important. The first 5 minutes are so important as to how a team starts off defensively and offensively.
Non-shooting foul there. Michigan on the inbounds, and Albert White with a very pretty finger roll.
He's a slasher, and that's where he's gotten his best work done so far, is in transition and on those short drives to the basket.
So the Wolverines score the first 6 points of the half, and UNLV wants a 20-second timeout. They got to regroup here. The first half, we saw Michigan run off 7 points in a row at one stretch. That was their best run. They have 6 right now. Big East basketball coming up, though, Tuesday night on the Deuce. Notre Dame and Villanova. The Wildcats ranked 8th in the country. Craig Kittles and company there taking on Pat Garrett. He's averaging about 14 points and 8 rebounds a game for the Fighting Irish. That's Tuesday night on the Deuce at 7 on Eastern Time, 4 o'clock if you're out there in Larry Farmer's neck of the woods.
Coach McLeod at Notre Dame's really got his work cut out for him. He's got a young ball club, but they're awfully talented.
The only national championship in UNLV's history. They've been in 4 Final Fours, though. Won in that title game run, 103-73 over Duke, and then lost in the championship game the following year to the Blue Devils, and what some say was one of the greatest upsets in that game in its history. They had a chance to finish the season undefeated. 34-1 wasn't bad, though. Lane working hard on the glass, and he gets fouled by Maurice Taylor.
Michigan that time really losing its focus and not finishing off their defense. Nobody putting a body on anyone. No one looking to see where the offensive players were coming to attack that offensive board. Really guilty of falling asleep and giving up a second shot.
For Taylor, that was foul number 3. And when you get into a close ball game like this and you have chances to get 3 points there, you can't give them away like that.
No, you can't. And again, it's not only the score that's effective, but it's the psychological effect where you come down, you run a nice play, you pound the ball inside, and then you come away with that possession and you're empty.
Johnson saves the day with the offensive rebound.
Good double team.
Smith thought about the 3. Johnson will take it. Since the three-point shot was instituted, that was 305 games ago, Vegas has made one in all those contests. In fact, this streak dates back beyond that. The Big West at the time was experimenting with a three-point shot. Didn't account for official NCAA statistics at that point, though. And here comes Michigan. Baston. UNLV's basketball. 5-point game. We played about 3 minutes here in the second half.
Michigan in a man-to-man defense.
Rose Green. His 4th point. Remember, too, he's coming off 4 consecutive double-doubles. He has 4 points and 4 rebounds so far tonight.
And that was the first time, or the second time, he's connected on that catch it outside, one bounce dribble, and pull up from the outside.
How about that passing on the inside there? Maurice Taylor looking down low for Baston, and Taylor almost went past 2 minutes.
You know, it's a catch-22. You want your big players to play unselfishly, and if you've got a 10-foot shot, which Taylor had, he elected to pass that off for Bastion, but you've got to be careful that you don't get a 3-second call, or you're not trying to make so many tight, close interior passes that you get turnovers. But again, you'd love to see your big men share that basketball.
Wes Reed coming in for the Rebels. That's a 6'4", 215-pound senior. One of 3 Las Vegas players on the roster for Bill Dano. And Baston misses a pair. And Reed quickly into the front court draws the foul. Albert White that's called for the reach. And at his 3rd now. Taylor and White both with 3 fouls, and Fife with 3 also on the bench.
I would not be surprised to see Michigan at some point go back to a zone defense.
A great play by Baston there as he saved the ball and then called the 22nd timeout as he was heading out of bounds. So a heads-up play there by Maceo Baston. Only at 20, so they don't waste a full timeout, and they do get possession of the ball when they take it back inbounds here. So Baston off the inbounds there. A pretty heads-up play. UNLV, a storied history, Larry. You look back at the success they've had here. They've only been playing basketball since 1957, but they rank right up there. Kentucky with the best winning percentage in all-time college hoops, and then UNLV at 74% of their wins there. They've notched up over the years, 780 wins. Great home court stretch here at Thomas and Mack. You'll see that's North Carolina there. 74% in that UCLA.
The Bruins of Euclid
up there, huh?
They're in great company. Many historic basketball tradition going way back. In Kentucky's case, way, way back.
We said that we're talking about it earlier. We said Kentucky's streak started before dirt, and Vegas' streak started when they started moving dirt, and moving the earth is Maurice Taylor.
It's a nice set play out of that 20-second timeout. All set up by a back screen on the weak side.
Off his leg, reset it. Reset the 35-second shot clock. UNLV has played here in the Thomas and Mack for 13 years, and boy, they have been tough on the home court, but right now they're trailing by 5 at the 15:41 mark. Michigan up by 5.
4th and inches. Coach Bannon, he likes to punt.
No way.
Whoa! Check this out. Attention, Coach Bannon. Go for it. Be a man.
Oh, what do you know, Steve? They're going to go for it. Just a reminder, when you've got the great taste of an ice cold Miller Lite, life is good.
Do you like my new hat? Comes that cross back to pass. Jones is open in the end zone.
Throws it to Jones, who drops the ball.
Bad call.
Yep.
The men and the machines, the technology and the atrocities, the power and the horror of 100 years of war. The complete history of 20th century conflict, the century of warfare, now available exclusively from Time Life Video. Never before has the entire history of modern conflict been brought together in one comprehensive series. You'll see action you've never seen before and that you can't get in any store. So call now to get Air War for only $4.99. The Century of Warfare, exclusively from Time Life. It's 100 years of combat footage from both sides. Scenes that you can't get in any store. So call now before it's too late.
To order your Century of Warfare Air War video, call 1-800-527-2299. Call now or send $4.99 plus $3.49 shipping to this address.
Michigan leading by 5 here at the 15:41 mark, and it's nice, Larry Farmer, when the coach calls for a play out of a timeout and his team comes out and executes it.
Well, if you look down there on the low post, you'll see Lewis Bullock being guarded by Jermaine Smith. He's going to sneak up right there, boom, and set the nice back pick. There's no bump, there's no switch, and that leaves Taylor to get right to the rack and finish that off strong.
Maurice Taylor, the team's leading scorer, their leading rebounder, and you'd think at 54% he'd be close to their leading field goal shooter too, but Baston's pretty strong with that 73%. Maurice, a sophomore, one of several Mr. Basketball candidates at the Michigan high school ranks when he came in as a sophomore. Conlon, Willie Mitchell, and Taylor were 1, 2, and 3 from Mr. Basketball honors. That's what made that recruiting class so special. You throw in Gerard Ward in there as well, and my.
Well, Michigan's so good at coming with that quick flash baseline double team.
Rose Green, offensive rebound, can't finish though, and Baston has the rebound stolen away, and then back to Baston.
Bastion lost his concentration. He thought he might have gotten fouled when he initially got that rebound. He's got to tuck that ball away with two hands and not hold it in one hand. I know it looks good if people are taking pictures, but when you're in traffic, the defense around, you got to take better care of the basketball.
Taylor coming up short. And Smith quickly up court.
It's a good decision by Sunshine. That's where he's improved. Making better mental decisions with the basketball, especially in transition where you don't quite have the fast break, but you still might have that secondary opportunity to get the ball in the painted area. He's doing a much better job of making those decisions.
Reed, couple of fakes and a couple of steps. And Reed will sit down, gets a chat with the coach. So Bano telling him, you take the third seat on the left there, sir. As a matter of fact, you take the last seat on the end of the bench. And Damian Smith, who was a senior as well there, one of the seniors, few seniors on his team, also joining them down there on the end in the street clothes tonight. Would have loved to have had him play, but unfortunately, he's got some knee problems. He had some knee surgery, too, back in November, arthroscopic surgery, and still hasn't quite recovered from that. Conlon comes up short. Johnson wants to push it. James wraparound pass off of lane and out of bounds.
It's a great idea by Kevin James to penetrate the defense, but he might have been guilty that time of over-penetrating. When you get the ball that close to the intended pass receiver, you can often surprise a big man, and especially if his hands aren't up and in position to catch the basketball, you see that happen quite a bit where it just bounces off his chest. I've had him bounce off my head.
Bullock with a sweep, too. Lewis Bullock had the last 5 points of the first half, connects here in the second.
Bullock very good at penetrating and shooting that soft floater where The defense cuts off the driving lane. He just adjusts the shot in midair.
And defensively, he's doing the job right now on Jermaine Smith. Smith had 17 at the half. He hasn't scored here in the second. James the long rebound. Kevin James to the hole.
That was a gutsy play by James.
Well, Michigan was so used to him passing the ball off that nobody stopped his dribble, and he took it all the way down for two. Dugan Fife with the ball back in the game. Conlon for three. Gets his own rebound off the tip. Almost walked. Baston on the baseline. Has it knocked away, and a foul on, well, Warren Rosegreen perhaps. Let's see. It was. That will be his third. Corbett back in. Chance Davis also getting some playing time.
You see James in the open court. Now, he was guilty the fast break just prior to that of over-penetrating and trying that pass with about 3 feet of space in between he and the intended receiver. And that time, he found that same space except on the other side, again catching Michigan in transition defense where no one was alert to pick up the basketball, and James finishing off that play with a nice layup.
See, intended receiver. You've got bowl fever this week. You just got football on your mind.
Hey, when you're working without that basketball and you can find somebody on your team that has it that will pass it to you, you are the intended receiver.
Yeah, you got to love the distraction there behind the hoop if you're a UNLV fan. Baston didn't find it to his liking. Missed the first one. Hits the second.
Michigan staying in that real sticky man-to-man defense. And that's a good double team.
Corbett lost the ball in traffic. Albert White now gets called for the charge. And that is his fourth foul.
White's he's a pretty good distance from the basket. He tried an in and outside move that time. Chancellor Davis reading it all the way, getting his body in between White and the basket, picks up that charge.
So with 4 fouls, he's going to have to sit down, and 15 points go with him to the bench.
And that was going to be a difficult fast break because you had Maceo Bastion at 6'9", and Albert White 2-on-1 in the open court. That's awfully difficult to ask your 3 and 4 men to make that play.
Robert Traylor clearing the boards. He can do that, too. Creates a lot of space inside, the big man does. Baskin cut off by Johnson.
Good defense by UNLV.
Bullock looked for the foul, no contact, and Corbett pulled down the loose ball. A lot of shots coming up short here in the second half. Bullock gets called for the reach from behind. And one thing that UNLV's done, Larry, it seems as they've been able to stem the tide here somewhat. When Michigan's been on a roll, and we'll touch on that after the timeout here. Every time Michigan's got something going, UNLV has had an answer. Right now, they're down by 6.
Hey, this feels nice.
Who's pulling on my shirt?
It's me, Johnson, fool. Is this Russell Athletic?
Sure, feel like cover stitching.
Must be that new blend fabric. Yeah, it's tough, strong.
No little fuzzball. By the way, anybody got the ball?
I think I got it.
That's not the ball.
Oh, sorry.
Looking for really tough athletic wear? Get Russell Athletic. Get tough.
Can a credit card make you unique? Actually, it just might. You see, your MasterCard is meant for you and you alone. Even if someone steals it, you don't have to worry about a thing. Just call right away and cancel it. So even if someone does manage to charge something to you, you won't pay a cent. We may even be able to get you a new card the next day, which ought to give you some peace of mind. And that's certainly a unique feeling. MasterCard. It's more than a credit card. It's smart money.
Now, to each man who shaves, there's an edge all his own. Only Edge Gel has 8 custom formulas to fit every shaving need. From tough beards to sensitive skin, for a close, comfortable shave, get an edge of your own. Ultimate closeness, ultimate comfort. That's the Edge. And for dry skin, try new Edge Extra Moisturizing Formula.
UNLV hanging tough right now. John Walter and Larry Farmer. Bill Bano, the first-year head coach at UNLV, understood exactly what he was getting into when he took the job.
There only if you think about it. And, you know, there are some people in the community and in the town that expect you to win right away and want to get things done quicker than maybe they should be if they're going to be done right. But, you know, the pressure that I put on myself is really the only pressure that I feel, and that's just to prepare and to get my team to improve every day, to get them to improve individually, and you know, to do it the right way and build it with a foundation.
Jerry Tarkanian created the monster. It lost a little bit of speed here in the past year or two, but Bill Bano trying to resurrect that momentum. But look where UNLV stands. They're at the bottom of that list, but that is still an elite group. They are 9th in the country in the 90s in winning percentage. Arkansas and Nolan Richardson leading the way there. That's pretty good company, Larry.
It really is, and that's something I'm sure that Coach Bano will use in recruiting, how well this program has done in the 90s. And you go out and talk to the very talented young men that I'm sure he's going to be recruiting to this program. Hey, come and be a part of this. You're going to be in a top 10 program.
Let's get back to the point that I wanted to ask you about before the timeout. The fact that UNLV has done such a good job defensively in keeping Michigan's runs limited, 5-6 points at the most. But offensively, they seem to be having some problems here with getting some consistency of their own.
Yeah, they really haven't. It's because they started this second half off, and unlike what they did that particular trip down, they haven't really tried to poke it inside. And again, when you can finish off your defense and take that defensive rebound, UNLV's got to get some transition baskets. They're in the zone defense, so they have to be alert to find people when the shot goes up, especially Michigan, put a body on them, box out, and then see if they can get in those lanes and utilize their quickness.
3 seconds to call. Maurice Taylor got caught inside the paint. The ball goes back to the running Rebels. They trail by 4. Johnson. Corbett tried to keep it alive, but here comes Conley. Pushes it to Traylor. Knocked away by Chance Davis, and that's Johnson. Back to Davis for 3. And it's a 1-point game.
Chancellor Davis, who missed the UCLA game with a sprained ankle, doing it at both ends of the floor. He really worked so hard to knock that ball away from Traylor. He deserved that last basket.
Here comes Sunshine. And the Rebels lead by 1.
You talk about momentum. It just appeared that either team that could put together 2 or 3 good defensive plays and take advantage of it couldn't make a run because both teams starting off so slowly and picking their shots in the second half.
Vegas is on a 9-0 run. And Steve Fisher says, we got to put an end to it right now. He wants a timeout. 55-52 UNLV.
Gentlemen, are you looking for some real entertainment? How about a nightclub with some lovely amenities? I'm talking about private couch dancing or getting wet in our exclusive shower room. Hey, welcome to the hottest, totally new club in town. Welcome to Little Darlings. Hundreds of beautiful girls and 3 ugly ones.
The average person is exposed to hundreds of ads every day, almost all of which go unnoticed.
Joe's Supper Club.
When people are ready to buy, they turn to the Sprint Yellow Pages.
Hello, LaRose?
Delivery, please.
The Sprint First Source phone.
Probably personality that distinguishes Sports Center. A lot of people don't realize that we write virtually all our own stuff.
Chucky Carr is into leather. Ooh, racy. To all the young players.
They're not going to get... They're not...
Somebody's a writer.
Get him. They're not going to get him.
Jack, what sounds better? Good or good?
The second one?
Yeah, good, thanks.
Reese Davis with you, checking in on top-ranked UMass taking on NC State. That's Todd Fuller. Splitting the defenders, hits the lefty hook. The Wolfpack up by 3, 15:47 left in the game, back to Vegas.
Thank you, Reese. Les Robinson and the Wolfpack doing the job tonight. Massachusetts ranked #1 in the country coming in. You see Michigan down there at number 19. But UMass having some problems, as are the Wolverines here, Larry.
Watch Chancellor Davis. He gets in and does a terrific job of not fouling and knocking that away from Traylor. And he gets rewarded at the other end. Comes down, gets his feet set. Nobody comes out to take him. He's got a clean look at the basket, and he finishes it off. And this is as a result of great UNLV defense. Jermaine Sunshine Smith, anticipating the turnover, the change of possession, does a good job of sprinting ahead of the defense, beating Michigan down the floor, and getting that layup.
In a little less than 2 minutes, Vegas has run off 9 consecutive points. And another steal by Corbin.
Another set play out of that timeout, but Traylor really guilty of forcing that pass to the inside. Against the zone defense, you've got to try and change size with the basketball to get that defense moving, and that creates the gaps, which gives you the opportunity to drive or pass the ball inside.
Johnson. He has 16. The lead is 5.
Real wide 2-3 zone. When you play that wide, you really try and take away the passing lanes.
Baston couldn't handle it. A basket here gives Vegas their biggest lead of the game. Jermaine Smith with a career-high 22 points. It's an 8-point UNLV lead.
You talk about a young team that's going to have to grow up quickly.
Corbin gets whistled for the foul. That is only the team's 4th. His first. Albert White back in. Steve Fisher deciding he can't sit too much longer. He comes back in with 4 fouls, replacing Dugan Fight. And now Warren Rosegreen also giving Clayton Johnson a chance to catch his breath at the 8:07 mark. Steve Fisher has taken his team to 3 Final Fours. Took him to 3 Final Fours in 5 years. Only 3 other coaches have ever done that before. There's another whistle and a foul. Harry Combs at Illinois, Fred Taylor, Ohio State, and Fisher at Michigan State. 3 Big Ten coaches there. It's pretty good company. Corbett goes back-to-back, and now he goes back to the bench.
And that's a tough place to get a call like that on the out-of-bounds play when the ball hasn't even been inbounded.
White inside to Taylor. And a traveling violation on Taylor. So Michigan has come up empty on their last 6 trips down the court.
And this is where, if you're Michigan, you got to take a deep breath, and you've got to start to put together some defensive sequences where when he goes inside, you double the post, you get out, you pressure the outside, and you can't give UNLV those wide-open, clean looks at the basket. It's really prompted this run.
Shot clock at 10. Davis got lucky there, I think, Larry. A little too much dribbling.
And there was really no room for Chancellor Davis to try and penetrate the defense of Michigan. And as you said, John, he really got bailed off the hook by Lewis Bullock attempting to reach in and knock that basketball away.
And on Bullock, that is his fourth foul. So that's a concern of Steve Fisher's as well. Remember now, they're not playing tonight with Willie Mitchell, an outstanding sophomore. Same thing, Gerard Ward. He isn't playing because of injuries, both of them out because of those reasons. So he's playing with a bench that isn't as deep as it usually is. And now White and Bullock each have 4.
I think Coach Fisher would agree at this point in the second half, his team has just been outplayed where UNLV has, from 1 through 5, just played a lot harder than Michigan has.
Davis continues the dribbling act, gives it off to Johnson. Inside, Lane with the rebound. He couldn't hang on, and Michigan gets the ball.
But I tell you, if one thing Michigan has not been guilty of defensively in this ball game is they've done a very good job of forcing that basketball baseline and reacting and coming over and cutting off that driving lane, and at times double teaming, but rotating back on that weak side to take away any interior passing.
Michigan has not scored in the last 5.5 minutes, but they keep it alive. White hangs on the rim now. Will they whistle him for that? No, they say trying to avert the injury there, but that was close, but they still come up empty.
Well, you're allowed to grab the rim if you're pushed or fouled or you're coming down in traffic where you can injure yourself. He gets pushed down low and gets hit across the head. So you take your pick on that one. White trying to save himself.
White's a great offensive rebounder as well. He was the only Michigan player who came in on the plus side offensive rebound. That tells you the statistic that he's working hard on that end, and it pays off here with the chance to shoot a couple of free throws.
Well, anytime you see a player that's gotten more offensive rebounds than defensive, that means he's really thrown the focus of what he wants to do at that end of the floor. And what I'm sure Coach Fisher will want to see him do more of as he matures is if you can get to that offensive board, which means getting around or through a defender, then you've got to be able to do a better job on that defensive board when you have the advantage being closer to the basket. You just sense that each defensive trip for Michigan becoming more and more important. They've got to put together some stops where they force UNLV to take some errant shots, get a steal, something to get them back in the flow of this game offensively.
Johnson's shot off the mark, and Taylor gives it up to Conley. Funny, we had just talked about UNLV and their offensive problems, and they go off on a 14-0 run, stopped there by the 2 free throws by Albert White.
And this is something that I'm sure Coach Bano and his staff will build on, because in 2 ball games against UNLV and Michigan, they've really ignited themselves by getting out, getting their knees bent, getting down and dirty, and playing good defense.
Albert, or rather Lewis Bullock in traffic there. I got so used to calling out White's name there for a while. Want to give him credit, but the little freshman from Temple Hills, Maryland, now with a dozen.
And Bullock is a tough shot maker. He likes to get in there and draw contact or get in that in-between space, which is really a difficult area to score. You have to be a pure shooter to make those shots.
Shooter's touch for Warren Rosegreen. He's playing with 4 fouls, as is Albert White and Lewis Bullock for Michigan. Conlon, and a blocking foul on Tony Lane, who tried to cover the lane, instead gets called for his 3rd.
It's very difficult to drive baseline against a 2-3 zone, because right there you should be getting that middleman over in position. As soon as that ball is put on the floor, the middleman in the zone defense should be seeking ball level, and that's Lane.
Both teams have some concerns now. That's actually the 4th foul on Lane. Rosegreen there with him, as is Bullock and White on the Michigan bench, and Rosegreen's going to sit down. They'd like to have him for the last stretch of this game. At 4:58, Bill Bano decides to put him down.
When Rosegreen is in a groove, he reminds me of he's a Sean Kemp type player in his approach to how he wants to play on the inside. That's a big miss from that free throw line.
Michigan in the bonus now, and they have 2 fouls to give. Make that 1 on their end, but that'll be a shooting foul as Jermaine Smith will go to the line. tractor trailer picking up his first foul. Again, that's team foul 6. Corbett comes back in for UNLV, and Maceo Baston's off the bench for Michigan as a Dugan fight. Smith, an 89% free throw shooter. He has a career-high 22 tonight. On the Big West All-Freshman team back in 93 and 94. Season average, how about that? He's about tripled his usual output. Boy, nice night to pick it.
Jermaine Smith out of Oak Hill Academy. They produce some very good players out of there. Stackhouse.
Not bad.
He's playing in the other league.
They were the #1 team in the country, according to USA Today, his senior year there at Oak Hill, mouth of Wilson, Virginia. Baston, those long rebounds, pulls it down. Loose ball. Possession arrow goes to Michigan. A good hustle for the Rebels, but Michigan gets the basketball. 4:45 left. It's a 6-point UNLV lead.
And Michigan also got a break that time because the possession arrow was in their favor. And if they burn that timeout in a ball game right now with 4 minutes and 45 seconds left to go, only down 6, that's one less opportunity for their coach to pull them over to the side and make any sort of last-minute adjustments that he might need. So they were very fortunate that that ball got tied up instead of referees recognizing that quick timeout.
And remember, they've used their 20 and one full timeout here already in the second half. So they have no more 20s, and they've completed one off their total for the overall timeout picture. That's something to think about with the 6-point deficit here. And a young team playing on the road behind for the first time this late in the game on the road. Fife, the only senior on the floor for Michigan. Bullock spins. But White with the rebound, following the foul.
And they're going to get Corbett for that foul. You watch the inside there, the lower part of your screen. Just a terrific rebound by Albert White. He stayed focused. He assumed that shot was missed, and Corbett really didn't have a play on the basketball. The only way you can block a shot like that is if you jump early, so you get your hand on top of the basketball. But as explosive as Albert White is, that's one of those concession baskets. He gets it that close. Either you let him score or you foul him, so he doesn't get the opportunity for the three-point play.
Massive substitutions for both teams as the coaches rely on their bench. You know, Michigan and that bench has been much talked about, but they get about a third of their scoring and a third of their rebounding from players off the bench as Corbett sits down, as opposed to the opposition, which is about 20 and 20 when you play against Michigan. Steve Fisher loves to go to that bench when you have so many All-Americans on there, high school All-Americans, you can afford to.
And the players like it. I mean, they're coming to Michigan because it's a great program, but, you know, all youngsters, especially as heralded as all these freshmen have been, they all want to play.
Inside of 4 minutes, UNLV hanging tough with a 4-point lead. Tough shot there on the turnaround by Lane.
Well, that double team comes so quickly for Michigan. When the ball does go under that post, you have to make very quick decisions as to whether to try and beat the double team with the quick shot or kick it back outside.
And Baston pushed from behind. That's his 4th personal foul. That's the 17th foul for the Wolverines, so now UNLV will be in the bonus for the remainder of the game.
Well, you got to like Baston's, you got to like his aggressiveness, but when you clearly don't have a good path to the ball, and once that ball hits the rim, you can see that with the way it's going to be traveling, you don't have a chance for that offensive rebound. That's when you're best served to get back on defense as opposed to trying to go over another man's back. And Johnson with that 38-inch vertical, it's kind of tough to come from behind and get the ball from him.
You mentioned that late as he makes the first free throw. That's after knee surgery. He blew out an anterior cruciate ligament his first year here, so he had a medical redshirt that year after transferring from the College of South Idaho, junior college, and then played his full season last year, back here for his senior season. Knocks down a pair, and we'll take a timeout. It's 64-58 as we come down the home stretch. The home team hanging things up.
When I took the high endurance challenge from Old Spice, I really thought it was going to be a challenge. I mean, this is a challenge. This is a sure thing. It evaporates less quickly. It also lasts longer, protects better. Old Spice guarantees it. Now, if you don't think it's the best, you call 1-800-PROVE-IT and they'll buy you a stick of your old deodorant. So if you're looking for a real challenge, go climb a mountain. If you're looking for the best deodorant, try high endurance from Old Spice. Because now you got proof. Guaranteed.
Whiplash-inducing power.
It's tail time!
Precise traction. Excellent suspension.
Shields up, Captain.
Advanced digital sound.
4 on the floor, baby.
In just 1 week, the most controversial movie of the year comes to video. Find out what everybody's talking about. Showgirls.
Spartan School of Aeronautics can train you to be a pilot or quality...
A pilot?
Yes, Spartan has been training aviation professionals in Tulsa, Oklahoma since 1928. Spartan offers training in aviation maintenance, avionics. No, what now?
Shouldn't you join the military for something like that?
Not unless you want to make a 4-year commitment.
I guess you could say careers are really taking off at Spartan.
Call Spartan School of Aeronautics at 1-800-544-1000 for a brochure. That's 1-800-544-1000.
About 3.5 left to play here. John Walls with Larry Farmer. Michigan trailing UNLV by 6. And hockey coming up here on the Deuce. Saturday night, Toronto and St. Louis at 7:30 Eastern Time from the Kiel Center in St. Louis. The Maple Leafs led by Mike Gartner, of course, in St. Louis. Brett Hull, not a shabby goal scorer himself. That's hockey coming up here on the Deuce. Toronto and St. Louis. The Blues hosting the Maple Leafs 7:30 Saturday night, 4:30 on the West Coast. We got a pretty good game here, though, right now, Larry Farmers. This would be a huge win for Bilbao, would it not? They won their first game of the year and have gone on a 5-game losing streak since.
And what an emotional boost, you know, to springboard off a game like UCLA where his team received UNLV a standing ovation when they walked off the court. The crowd so appreciative of the effort that UNLV put forward against, you know, a very tough UCLA team. So to come in here and play like this against Michigan, this is certainly something this team can be proud of.
And the crowd tonight, 11,887. That's a few hundred more than they had for UCLA when the Bruins came in. Taylor, and that'll be goaltender.
Tony Lane, and that's an easy call. When the ball is that close to the rim, 9 times out of 10, that call will go against you. If you can close ground and surprise the jump shooter when he's coming out of that turnaround, you've got an opportunity to knock it away. Really not a good position, time and score-wise, to give up an offensive goaltend on a shot like that.
And Vegas has gone to spreading the floor here now. The runner Red's trying to take a little time off the clock and spread out that Michigan defense.
Well, the clock's down to 10, and when you do this, you're utilizing your quickness.
Taylor triple teamed by that zone defense of UNLV. Bullock and Johnson made him think twice about pulling the trigger on the 3. They kick it to Taylor. Good follow shot by Baxter.
And that's what happens when you play with patience. You move the ball around. Credit Lewis Bullock with his decision not to take that shot with 2 defensive players coming out on him. That ball got reversed. It went inside, and Michigan had the opportunity for the putback. You've got to work a zone defense. You can't play to a zone defense's strength, which is to come down, look early for the outside shot, or look early to try and force the ball to the inside.
And the shot clock again down to 10. So UNLV taking some time away. And Jermaine Smith makes it work. And now we have Rick Hartzell making a call and maybe warning one of the Rebels about touching the ball after it went out of bounds.
You play a zone defense, you want to have an opportunity if you score to get back and get in that half-court defense and not give up anything cheap in transition. It's a good ploy when you can get away with it.
Steal by Davis. And the clock is their friend right now.
Spread the floor, pull it out, know your clock. Be ready to quickly get in a half-court offensive set, execute, so you get a good, clean look at the basket.
Johnson double clutches. Loose ball taken by Smith, and he wisely pulls it out with less than a minute to play.
They've got a foul. Michigan's got to give up. They've got to give up a foul.
And there are 3 excellent free throw shooters on the court right now for UNLV, and Clayton Johnson is one of them, and he's going to the line to shoot 1 and 1.
You're down 4 points with the clock ticking down like that. You're playing against a team that shoots 64% from the line. You really don't have a lot of time to pick and choose your spots. It's almost a must foul when UNLV got that second chance on Jermaine Smith's offensive rebound to get out and quickly give a foul, so you don't allow UNLV to take as much time off the clock as they eventually did.
How good has UNLV's defense been? Well, at the half, Michigan had 41 points. They had 21 here with less than a minute to go in the second half. Crowd wanted goaltending, but the ball had popped out, and Michigan can cut it to 1 with the 3.
They need a score.
Albert White has it rolling around, and let's see what the call is. They say the basket will count and a timeout for Michigan. So the Wolverines get the easy 2. They trail by 2 with 33 seconds to go. Take me inside the huddle here as we see White getting the basket and the ball rolling around, and it looks like it still might have been a little bit in that cylinder, Larry, but we'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Baston gets the bucket. You tell me now.
Well,
huh?
if it's on the side of the glass and you see the official poised underneath the basket, if it's on the side of the glass, it counts. Boy, that was awfully close. It was still touching the rim. Technically, if it's on the outside of the rim, it's not in the cylinder.
All right, Steve Fisher, go inside his huddle right now. What's he going to tell his team about playing defense?
Well, you've really got to extend your defense. Michigan 3-0 in games decided by 4 or less, and that tells you they get busy and they make good decisions for a young team. If you want to extend your defense, you don't have a chance now to sit back in your half-court defense and allow UNLV to come down and take a lot of time off the clock. So you want to push them to either take a quick shot or turn the ball over.
Right now, the Wolverines have the upper hand when it comes to success down the stretch, but UNLV has the ball and a 2-point lead. They have not lost by more than 10 points this year. It has been a disappointing start for them, no question about that. But a win over the 19th ranked team in the country would be an enormous boost of confidence right now for a running Rebel team that could use any shot in the arm they could get. They lead again with 32.9 seconds remaining, so the shot clock's not going to matter from here on out. Of course, Michigan wouldn't let it. They're going to have to foul if they don't get the steal, I would think, in the first 10 to 15 seconds.
Extend your defense, go after the steal, try and foul, and force UNLV to win this basketball game at the line. If UNLV is hitting their free throws, now you've got to come down and look for the home run ball. If they're not, you can still win this game by getting the ball close to the basket and drawing some fouls.
Chance Davis gets it out to Johnson, who tried to alley-oop. Oh, what a play. He tried to get over Baston, and remember, he has those long arms. He came up with a huge steal. Vegas leading by a pair.
Pool the Master's Way and learn from the best. 2 of America's favorite instructional videos are now available only through this special TV offer. Get tips from Steve Miserak, Pretty Boy Floyd, Iwo Mataya, and other pool greats. Now, for a limited time, you can order both videos for the price of one. Learn the secrets of breaks, banks, defense, position, angles, and trick shots like the Massey and the jump.
Take it from me, The Miz. When you purchase Pool the Master's Way and learn from the best, you'll learn everything you need to know how to shoot pool like a pro. With these 2 tapes, you can do almost anything except beat me.
World champion Steve Miserak takes you through the best ways to improve your game. Call the number on your screen and we'll send you this wonderful...
Baston misses the front end of a 1-and-1. UNLV still up by 2. They got 3 on none, and they fought over the ball, and Johnson crawls under Taylor's legs, and Maurice Taylor commits the foul. 3 on none, Larry, and they couldn't convert.
And Rosegreen and Johnson really got caught in a scuffle trying to get after that loose ball and have an opportunity for an easy basket. It's an excellent long pass against the defense. Michigan's defense was pushed all the way up the floor. Both players have an opportunity.
So let me out of here. Of course, Las Vegas hasn't been in this position very often. They've had a chance to win a game down the stretch. They've been on the short end of the stick and maybe got a little greedy there. Albert White takes a seat on the Michigan bench. They need some defensive intensity and maybe the outside shooting as well of Dugan Fife. He hasn't been extraordinarily consistent from behind the stripe, but he is capable. Johnson a miss.
And another big miss on that free throw line. 2-point ball game.
A 2-point basket puts it into overtime. A 3 wins it. Bullock checked there, calls a timeout with 1.4 seconds. Great defensive pressure by UNLV. Less than 2 seconds to go. UNLV's 2 points ahead.
Pool the Master's Way and learn from the best. 2 of America's favorite instructional videos are now available only through this special TV offer. Get tips from Steve Miserak, Pretty Boy Floyd, Iwo Mataya, and other pool greats. Now, for a limited time, you can order both videos for the price of one. Learn the secrets of breaks, banks, defense, position, angles, and trick shots like the Massey and the jump.
Take it from me, The Miz. When you purchase Pool the Master's Way and learn from the best, you'll learn everything you need to know how to shoot pool like a pro. With these 2 tapes, you can do almost anything except beat me.
World champion Steve Miserak takes you through the best ways to improve your game. Call the number on your screen and we'll send you this wonderful 2-video cassette collection for just $19.95 plus postage and handling.
2 for the price of 1? How can you go wrong?
These videos have never been offered together and are only being offered for a limited time. Call now. Have your credit card ready. An operator is waiting for your call. Sorry, no CODs. Call now.
Welcome back to the Thomas and Back. John Walzer, Larry Farmer, and a special welcome to all our viewers on ESPN as well. Joining us here on the Deuce, UNLV trying to pull off the upset. They lead the Wolverines of Michigan 66-64. There is 1.4 seconds remaining. It will be Michigan's ball out of bounds. UNLV has all 3 of their timeouts remaining. Michigan has none. But again, it is a UNLV lead by 2. They trailed by 2 at the half, went on a 14-0 run at about the 11-minute mark and have not given up the lead since then. They're up by a deuce. They're trying to end a 5-game losing streak. Michigan came in on a 7-game winning streak. Travis Conlon will inbounds, and after seeing how Michigan wanted to set it, Bill Bano calls a timeout. So the wheels turn in both huddles right now, Larry.
Well, you wanted to get an idea of exactly where Michigan would set their big people, where they set their small people, and get some idea of what they were going to try and do to inbound the ball, get it close to the basket for the tie score and go into overtime, or figure out from their alignment where they had their shooters if they were going to try and screen and bring somebody to the ball with 1.4 seconds left to look for that 3-point shot and the victory.
Well, play the guessing game for me here right now. What does Michigan want to do? I mean, isn't the wisdom you play for the tie on the road and the win at home, or what do you want to do here with 1.4 left? You don't have a lot of options, huh?
Well, I'd always go for the win on the road, but I guess that's why I'm not coaching here in this country. I'm broadcasting.
But you tell me, if you're Michigan, can you set a shot for a shooter like Bullock, who is so good from 3-point range, or do you take the chance and pound it into Taylor and hope he can make the 2?
Well, you want to run something out of your initial set that might give you an opportunity to pass the ball to the post or pass the ball to the basket for some sort of lob pass. But it's an old coaching saying the most dangerous player on the court is the man inbounding the basketball. So you run an option to get it inside, you inbound the ball to your second or third option, those options that are important to get it inside, look for a kickback to maybe the inbounder, who might, in this case, be a shooter. Lewis Bullock would be a good person to put in that situation to see if you can get the kickback and the outside shot. When it
comes to 3-point shooters, Conlon on the inbounds is a 48% 3-point shooter. Bullock is at 40%. After that, everyone else is average or less than. Here we go. second win of the season. And Steve Fisher and the Wolverines go home empty tonight. They fall short. UNLV beating Michigan tonight 66-64, their second win of the season. For Larry Farmer, I'm John Walls.